syllabus. Together, we will aim for high score through smart learning, optimum utilization of time, and less stress. So let's get started. Today, we are going to revise the chapter The Hack Driver by Sinclair Lewis. This is part 1 of the chapter. I will be taking till page number 15, part 1, and rest of the pages I'll be taking in part 2. It is because otherwise the explanation will become very long. So now we start from page number 47 and here is the chapter. So Hack Driver, this is lesson number 8. A young lawyer comes to the village to serve summons on Oliver Lutkins. A friendly hack driver takes him round the village in search of Lutkins. Does he find him? Who is Lutkins? So as we read the chapter, we will be answering these questions. So now since we are revising it, I'll straight away start with the chapter. After graduating with honors, I became a junior assistant clerk in a magnificent law firm. I was sent to prepare legal briefs but to serve summons like a cheap private detective. I had to go to dirty and shadowy corners of the city to seek out my victims. Some of the larger and more confident ones even beat me up. I hated this unpleasant work and the side of city life it revealed to me. I even considered fleeing to my hometown where I could have been a real lawyer right away without going through this unpleasant training period. So this is the this is the narrator. The I here is the narrator who was telling us his story. He says that after graduating with honors, he became a junior assistant clerk in a magnificent law firm, but he did not like his job. Now, why he did not like his job? Because he was not given the task to prepare legal briefs, but to serve summons like a cheap private detective. And he says that for this, he had to go to dirty and shadowy corners of the city to seek out his victims. And some of the larger means robust, more stronger than him, and people with VIP connections, maybe, so they even used to beat him up. And therefore, he hated this unpleasant work and the city and the side of the city life it revealed to me. So, these are the questions that we'll be doing. I even considered fleeing to my hometown where I could have been a real lawyer right away without going through this unpleasant training period. So he was still under a training period which he called unpleasant. So the question, let's take the question from here. What did the narrator say about his job? Did he like his job? Why not? So narrator was a graduate with an honors degree. He worked as a junior assistant clerk in a magnificent law firm, but he was not sent to prepare legal briefs but to serve summons like a cheap private detective. He was under a training period. He had to go to dirty and shabby corners of the city to seek out his victims. Some of the robust and strong victims would even beat him up. Therefore, he hated this unpleasant work and also the dark side of the city life that revealed to him, which involved a lot of competition and hustle and bustle for a simple man like him. So, because of all these reasons, he hated his job and he even considered fleeing to his hometown where he feels that he could have been a real lawyer right away without any training period. So, this is our second question here. So why did he want to leave the city and go to his hometown? So along with all the reasons that we have done for the previous question, that is why he hated his job, all those reasons will also come. Along with that, you have to add this reason, the last line here. Also, he believed that in his hometown, he could be a real lawyer right away without going through any of the unpleasant training period. So this point will be added to the previous answer and it will become a complete answer for this question. Why did he want to leave the city and go to his hometown? Now let's read further. Then he says that so I rejoiced one day when they sent me 40 miles in the country to a town called New Mullion to serve summons on a man called Oliver Lutkins. We needed this man as a witness in a law case and he had ignored all our letters. So again a question can come, why he rejoiced one day. So, what was the reason of narrator's joy? Why was he sent to New Mullion? So, narrator was elated when his firm decided to send him 40 miles away from the city in the country to a town called New Mullion to serve summons on a man called Oliver Lutkins. This man was required as a witness in a law case, and he had been ignoring all the letters of the firm. Therefore, he felt it as a chance to be away from the city life for a while. So, therefore, he was very happy because he felt at least for a day or two he'll be away from the city. So, he felt that going to New Mullion was his chance. Then he says that when I got to New Mullion, my eager expectations of a sweet and simple country village were severely disappointed. So, again, a question that why his expectations were severely disappointed. So, let's read. Its streets, they were rivers of mud with rows of wooden shops, either painted a sour brown or bare of any paint at all. The only agreeable sight about the place was the delivery man at the station. He was about 40, red faced, cheerful, and thick about the middle. Thick about the middle means he was pot bellied. His working clothes were dirty and well worn, and he had a friendly manner. You felt at once that he liked people. So, here one question can come that why was he fairly disappointed, and another that what agreeable sight welcomed him there. So let's do these questions. Why was the narrator disappointed on reaching New Mullion? So narrator expected New Mullion to be calm and serene countryside away from the hustle and bustle of city, but when he reached there he was very disappointed because the streets were rivers of mud with rows of shabby shops. The sight of the town it was not at all a pleasant one as he had expected. So next we will see what is the question. That is the agreeable sight. So why was the delivery man an agreeable sight for the narrator at the station? Amidst not so charming sight of the town, the narrator's eyes fell on a cheerful man of about 40. He was red-faced with a paunch. His working clothes they were dirty and well worn. He seemed to have a friendly demeanor. The narrator felt at once that he liked people and seemed agreeable to him. So, looking at that man, he felt that he was friendly. So, he felt that this was the only agreeable sight because rest of the things he did not like. Then he says, I told him, to find a man named Oliver Lutkins. So this narrator, this lawyer, he approached this delivery man and told him that he wanted or he is there to locate a man named Oliver Lutkins. So that man answered, Lutkins. I saw him around here about an hour ago. Hard fellow to catch though. Always up to something or other. He's probably trying to start up a poker game in the back of the Fritz shop. I'll tell you, boy, is there any hurry about locating Lutkins? So this is the conversation between the two. So the man, the delivery man, he says, Lutkins, I just saw him around here an hour ago. Hard fellow to catch though. Now here, meaning of hard fellow. Hard meaning of hard fellow to catch here it means difficult to catch, but otherwise it also means difficult to understand. For example, she speaks so fast, it is hard for me to catch her. So in this way, in this context, it also means when you are difficult to understand something. But here in this context, it means difficult to catch. So he says that he is always up to something or the other. He's probably trying to start up a poker game in the back of the Fritz shop. So this delivery man tells that now he must be there at the back of the Fritz shop because he is or he likes poker game a lot. So he must be there for a poker game. And I'll tell you, boy, is there any hurry about locating Lutkins? So he asked the lawyer if there is any hurry about finding Lutkins. So the lawyer says, yes, I want to catch the afternoon train back to the city. I was very important and secret about it. Now, this is again very important. I was very important and secret about it. So, what does the lawyer actually mean by this? So, in a way to impress the driver about his important and secret mission, he revealed this to him. So the lawyer actually he was trying to impress the delivery man that he is out there for an important business. So he revealed that secret to him. I'll tell you what, I've got a hack. I'll get it out and we can drive around together and find Lutkins. I know most of the places he hangs out. So, what happens here is instantly a plan pops up in his mind. So, this shows that this delivery man, or the hack driver as he's called, is quick witted. Now, let's see if there's a question related to this. So, he says, what did the delivery man suggest and why did the narrator agree to it? So let's read a paragraph, another paragraph, and then we'll answer this question. So he was so open and friendly that I glowed with warmth of his affection. I knew, of course, that he wanted the business, but his kindness was real. I was glad the fare of money it would go to this good fellow. I managed to bargain down to $2 an hour, and then he brought from his house nearby a sort of large black box on wheels. He remarked, well, young man, here's the carriage. And his wide smile made me into an old friend. Again, this is an important phrase. These villagers are so ready to help a stranger. He had already made it his own task to find Oliver Lutkins for me. So let's do first the meaning of that. His wide smile made me into an old friend. It means that he felt as if he knew him since long, like an old friend. So the narrator, while talking to that delivery man, he felt that as if he knew him since long, like an old friend. So both of them they agreed. The hack driver he said that he will bring his hack and then he would take the lawyer and both of them together they will find Lutkins. And the lawyer he was very happy because he felt that this hack driver he had already made his task to find Lutkins for him. And here when he says that I knew, of course, that he wanted the business, but his kindness was real. So here, lawyer means that, of course, that man would be charging him. He was not taking him free of cost. But he says the way he offered him help, it was very kind of him, and that kindness was real. Now let's answer this question. So the question is, what did the delivery man suggest, and why did the narrator agree to it? After hearing from the narrator that he was there to find a man Lutkins, the delivery man further extracted the urgency in finding Lutkins. He then portrayed Lutkins as a vagabond who was not easy to catch. One time he was playing poker and maybe the next second he was somewhere else. He therefore suggested to the narrator to ride with him in his hack and he would help him to locate Lutkins. So this is what was the suggestion that was given by the delivery man. Now, after listening to the delivery man, the narrator thought that he won't be able to find Lutkins alone as he had not even seen him. Moreover, the man seemed to be quite helpful and kind. He was so open and friendly that the narrator could feel the warmth of his affection. The man was himself offering him help in the town where he did not know anyone. So he was quite impressed by his dutiful attitude as he had already made the narrator's job his own. So because of all these reasons, the lawyer he agreed to the hack driver. He agreed to that delivery man's suggestion. So all these points you remember you have to write here. Now next he said, I don't want to interfere, young fellow, but my guess is that you want to collect some money from Lutkins. He never pays anybody a cent. He still owes me 50 cents on a poker game. I was a fool. So he says that he was a fool enough to play with him. He's not really bad, but it's hard to make him part with his money. If you try to collect from him in those fancy clothes, he'll be suspicious and get away from you. If you want, I'll go into Fritz and ask for him, and you can keep out of sight behind me. So now let's take the questions from here. What he means. when we say that he was now suggestion he has already given and the narrator he has already agreed to his suggestion and then he says that they will first go to the frizz because he is suspecting that he is gone there to play poker. But he is warning him that if he will see you in those fancy clothes. Now, here, fancy clothes means maybe he is dressed like a lawyer or he is in a suit, in an office suit. So he says that if he will see you in these fancy clothes, then he'll become suspicious and he will run away from there. So, this hack driver he suggests that he will go inside the Frisk shop, and he will ask for him. And he asks this lawyer to keep out of sight behind him. So now we move on to the next question. And here is the next question. So, what picture of Lutkins did the hack driver paint in front of the narrator? So, he says the hack driver said that Lutkins was a vagrant. Vagrant or vagabond means that he is not to be located at one spot. He roams from one place to another and had no fixed location. He was at the station just an hour ago, and probably at that time he would be trying to start up a poker game at the back of Fritz's shop. He further told him that he was a hard fellow to catch and had never returned anybody's money. It was very difficult to make him part with his money, though he was not that bad. So, this is what the hack driver tells the lawyer about Lutkins. Now let's read further and then we'll take up the next question. Then he says after this, when they've decided that the hack driver would go inside the shop first and the narrator, he would be behind him. So he says, I loved him for this. By myself, I might never have found Lutkins. With the hack driver's knowing help, I was sure of getting my man. I took him into my confidence and told him that I wanted to serve the summons on Lutkins, that the man had refused to be a witness when his information would have quickly settled our case. The driver listened earnestly. At the end, he hit me on the shoulder and laughed. Well, we'll give Brother Lutkins a little surprise. Let's start. Drive. So now the narrator says that I loved him for this. Now, for what he loved him, that we'll discuss. He says that by myself, I would have never been able to find Lutkins. And he thanked that hack driver for his knowing help. Now, here, knowing help means he knew everything about the city and its people. So, knowing help here means because he knew the town. So, that is why he says that I'm grateful that the hack driver he has made my task his own job. So why does the narrator says I loved him for this? The narrator loved the hack driver for the help he was offering because he felt that he would never find Lutkins on his own in that unknown place. But with the help of a person who lived there and was aware of Lutkins' each and every hangout spot, the narrator was sure to find him. Therefore, he was filled with gratitude for the hack driver. So, he was thankful that the hack driver is helping him. So now, both of them, they were going to the Fritz shop. So he says, now let's start driver. So most folks around here call me Bill or Magnuson. My business is called William Magnuson, Fancy Carting and Hacking. So while they are on their way, so the hack driver, he is introducing himself. He tells his name. He says that I am Bill, or most of the people they call me Bill or Magnuson. And my business, he says, he is telling about his work that his work or his business is called William Magnuson Fancy Carting and Hacking. All right, Bill, shall we proceed to Fritz? So the lawyer says that we should move now. Yes, Lutkins is just likely to be there as anywhere. Plays a lot of poker. He is good at deceiving people. Bill seemed to admire Lutkins' talent for dishonesty. This is again an important expression. It can come in extracts. So it means as if Bill admired Lutkins for his knack of deceiving people. So the way Bill was telling about Lutkins to the lawyer. So it seemed to the lawyer that Bill knows everything about him and he is closely related to him. So it seemed as if Bill was actually admiring Lutkins, or he admired Lutkins. He was a fan of Lutkins of his knack of deceiving people. I felt that if he had been a policeman, he would have caught Lutkins respectfully and jailed him with regret. So he says that I felt that he liked that person so much, that he liked Lutkins so much, that if he had been in a policeman, he would have regret catching the person or catching Lutkins and putting him into jail. So now next question is, what does the hack driver tell about his work? The hack driver tells the narrator that his name is Bill Magnuson and his business is called William Magnuson Fancy Carting and Hacking. So this is what he tells about his business. Now let's read what happens when they reach the Fritz. Now Bill led me into Fritz. Have you seen Oliver Lutkins around today? Friend of his is looking for him, said Bill cheerily. Frisk looked at me, hiding behind Bill. He hesitated and then admitted, yes, he was in here, just a while ago. Guess he's gone over to Gustav's to get a shave. So this is what Fritz answered. He first looked puzzled. But then when he looked at the lawyer who was hiding himself behind Bill, so he agreed and admitted that yes, Lutkins was here just a while ago, but now he might have gone to Gustav's to have a shave. Well, if he comes in, tell him I am looking for him. So before leaving, Bill tells him that if he comes there again, he should tell him that Bill was looking for him. So we drove to Gustav's barber shop. Again, Bill went in first, and I lingered at the door. He asked not only the Swede but the two customers if they had seen Lutkins. The Swede had not. He said angrily, I haven't seen him and I don't care to. But if you find him, you can just collect that $35 he owes me. One of the customers thought he had seen Lutkins walking down Main Street this side of the hotel. Now from Fritz they went to Gustav's, and there, when they asked about Lutkins, again the same answer came. The Swede, he said that he had not seen him, and very angrily he said that if you find him, you collect my $35 that he owes. So one of the customers who was sitting in the shop, he said that he might have seen Lutkins down the main street. So again, at two places they had bad luck. So let's read what happened at Fritz. Bill had already told the narrator that Lutkins was very good at deceiving people, and if he would see someone in fancy clothes, as I've explained, fancy clothes means office clothes or dressed like a lawyer, so he would become suspicious and run away. So Bill led the narrator into Fritz. There, when he asked about Lutkins, Fritz seemed to be a little puzzled, but then admitted that he was there just a while ago and must have gone to Gustav's to get a shave. Before leaving, Bill instructed Fritz that if Lutkins returned, he should tell him that he was looking for him. Now, next question that we will take is, what happened at Gustav's barber shop and why did the hack driver go inside first? Now, this is again important. What happened at the barber shop? At the barber shop again, the hack driver went in first in order to dictate to Gustav what to say and pretend in front of the narrator as he himself was Lutkins. So he again went inside the shop and as if he wanted to dictate to Gustav that this is what you have to say because he himself was Lutkins. So obviously this we come to know later in the story. They did not have any luck at the barber shop because the Swede angrily told them that Lutkins did not come there and if they found him, they should collect his $35 from him. So this is what happened there. Now after that, let's see where they go and were they able to find Lutkins. Now from there, they are out. We drove to Gustav's barber shop again. Bill went in first, so this we have already read. So one of the customers thought that he had seen Lutkins walking down Main Street, this side of the hotel. Now, as we climbed back into the hack, Bill concluded that since Lutkins had exhausted his credit at Gustav's, he had probably gone to Gray's for a shave. So now Bill suggested because he owed money to Gustav's, he had not come there. He must have gone to another barber shop. So that is the Gray's shop. So now they went towards Gray's barber shop. So at Gray's barber shop, we missed Lutkins only by 5 minutes. He had just left, probably for the pool room. At the pool room, it appeared that he had just bought a pack of cigarettes and gone out. So we pursued him, just behind him, but never catching him, for an hour till it was past 1 o'clock. I was hungry, but I had so enjoyed Bill's rough country opinions and his neighbors that I scarcely cared whether I found Lutkins or not. So now, when they were not able to find Lutkins at Gustav's, they thought Bill actually told the narrator that he might have gone to the Gray's barber shop because he owed money to Gustav's. So now they would be trying their luck there. Now, when they reached Gray's barber shop, they missed Lutkins only by 5 minutes. So, only by 5 minutes, they missed him there, and after that, they started pursuing him again to the pool room because there probably Lutkins, he must have gone to pool room. So they guessed that he must have gone to pool room from there. Now there, when they reached, they found that he had just bought a pack of cigarettes and gone out. So why did the hack driver conclude that Lutkins might have gone to Gray's for a shave? Bill concluded that since Lutkins had to pay $35 to Gustav, he had probably gone to Gray's for a shave. So they went to Gray's, but there also they missed Lutkins by only 5 minutes. Then what happened at the pool room? When they reached the pool room, it appeared that Lutkins had just left from there after buying a pack of cigarettes. So they were just running from one place to another, and obviously they were never finding Lutkins. So he says that we were just behind him every time, but we were never catching him. So, like this, it was already 1 o'clock, and the lawyer he was hungry. But the lawyer says that he has so enjoyed Bill's rough country opinions about his neighbors that he scarcely cared whether he found Lutkins or not. So he was enjoying the ride with that person, with the hack driver. So why did the narrator say at one point that he scarcely cared whether he found Lutkins or not? After chasing Lutkins at 4 places with no luck, it was past 1 o'clock. The narrator was hungry, but he had thoroughly enjoyed the ride with Bill, listening to his opinions about the people in the town, and he had forgotten about his tough life in the city. Therefore, at one point, he did not care if he found Lutkins or not. So, since they were chasing Lutkins, they had gone to 4 places, but they had not found Lutkins anywhere. It was already 1 o'clock. Now the lawyer was hungry. But he says that he had thoroughly enjoyed that ride with the hack driver and he did not even think about finding Lutkins or not because that ride it was very enjoyable. He was enjoying the way Bill talked. He was enjoying the way Bill narrated about the people in the town. So this is till page 49. I will take up in part 2 rest of the pages, and this is the portion of grammar and writing which I have already covered. The videos are there, so if you want to refer to these you can. I'll be giving all these links in the description box, and you revise the first part of the story till here and then move on to part 2. Do the question answers so that till here the chapter is clear to you. So these are the topics that I've already covered. From literature, I have already covered these poems: Fire and Ice and Dust of Snow, the chapters Thief's Story, Footprints Without Feet, the character sketch, Tips and Tricks. I have taken the character sketch of Matilda. In this, using an acronym, we have written it. And then how to answer a long question. Again, the question is taken from the chapter Necklace. The links already I'll be giving in the description box. So if you find that this is helpful to you, kindly subscribe to my channel and share it with your friends also, because it will help me, and obviously it will help the channel to grow, and I will be putting on the explanations of all the chapters before your final exams. That's all for today. And in the second part, I'll be taking rest of the chapter, and then I'll also be doing character sketch and important questions like theme and title. Thank you very much.